Hi, everyone. This lesson we are going to be working on, let me share my screen. Pull that down. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. We're going to be solving for y and graphing. We're going to take these equations that are written in standard form. We're going to move them into slope-intercept form, find the slope and the y-intercept, and sketch our graph. So let me move this up a little bit. I'm going to make it, I think, so I can just see that first problem right there. Okay, the first thing you'll see is that this is written in standard form. Standard form, remember, is AX plus BY equals C. And these are very wide. Let's see if I can make them a little bit smaller. Okay, so that's standard form. So now we want to move it into slope-intercept, which is Y equals MX plus B. Because when you have it in this form, the M, oh, I didn't mean to do that, silly me. The M is the slope. Let's see if I can change all these. There we go. M is the slope, and B is the y-intercept. Okay, so the first thing we need to go and do is change this to get y by itself. So whenever I have an equal sign, I put a dotted line. You change all these to a little bit smaller. And now I need to look and see, what do I need to do to get y all by itself? What's on the same side of the equation? Well, there's the x. It is a positive x. To move it to the other side, you subtract x from each side. So I'm going to subtract x from each side. That makes on the left, it makes them cancel out. And now I'm going to have y equals. Now, you don't have to write it with the x first, but to put it in slope-intercept form, that's the way that it's supposed to be written. There's a minus x, so that's a negative x, and then a positive 8. This is your equation in slope-intercept form. Let's see if I can move my board a little bit so I can write. So I have y equals negative x plus 8. Well, first off, the y-intercept is what's being added or subtracted to the x. Right here is my y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis. My slope is going to be the number that is in front of the x. And it just has a negative right now. Well, a negative is the same as saying -1. So this is my slope. So now to sketch this, I'm going to draw an coordinate grid, x and y axis, like this. Now, we're going to go on the y axis, and I'm going to go up. And you would count up 8 spots, but we're just sketching it. So it would be up above, up here. Now, my slope is -1. If the slope is negative, that means from left to right, it is going down. So I'm going to just sketch my line like this. It doesn't have to be exact right now because we're just trying to get the general idea of what's happening with our lines. Okay, so if you don't have this down, pause the video and write it down, and then we're going to go over here to the we do. So I'm going to erase my board now. So over here, do exactly what I just did. Try and do this on your own. Pause the video and then press play and come back and see how you did. I'm going to go through the problem after you come back. All right, I've put a dotted line at the equal sign. I do that to try and help me keep things straight. Here is my y. I need this y right here all by itself. I don't want it to have any friends on the same side of the equal sign. Well, what they have is a 2x. This is a positive 2x. To move it to the other side, I'm going to do the inverse of a positive 2x, which is subtract 2x. So, and what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Now, I did this so that 2x minus 2x equals 0, and it goes away. I get y equals. Now, I could write it as 3 minus 2x. That's still fine, but slope-intercept form, remember, is y equals mx plus b. So I want to put the x before that just regular constant. Well, you need to look and see. This says negative 2x. So I'm going to put minus 2x, which is the same as negative 2x. So I have negative 2x and the 3 is positive and I have plus 3. So here is my equation in slope-intercept form. Well, what if I asked you what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? Remember, the y-intercept is a number being added or subtracted. So the y-intercept is 3. The slope is the number that is attached and in front of the x, which is negative 2. So now to sketch our graph, x and y. Well, the y-intercept is represented with a b. One of the b might help us remember that that means to begin. Begin there. So I'm going to go up the y-axis up to 3 and put a dot. Now, so this would be begin. And the m is going to tell me how to move. Now, we're not going to get very exact on it. All I know is that my slope is negative. And I'm going to just go ahead and draw my line so that from negative, that means from left to right, it is going down, but it's got to go through 3. So I'm just going to sketch my graph like this. All right, if you don't have it down or you need to change yours, fix yours, go ahead and pause the video and do that. I'm going to erase mine and then we'll go on to the next one. So on the next one, where'd it go? So here's the next one right here. Again, this is in standard form. So now we need to move it into slope-intercept form. Well, remember, I'm trying to get the y by itself. What is being added or subtracted to the y? Well, if you look here, you've got a positive 4x. I need to move that to the other side, and I can't just put it there. Well, the inverse of positive 4x is negative, so I'm going to subtract 4x from each side. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So now, 4x minus 4x is 0. They cancel out, and this time I get 2y equals negative 4x plus 8. Well, now the y isn't by itself right now. It's got a 2. Oops, there we go. It's got a 2 in front of it. When they're right next to each other, it means 2 times y. Well, the inverse of multiplying is dividing. So I'm going to divide everything by 2. So now 2 divided by 2 is 1. I get y equals negative 2x, because negative 4 divided by 2. 8 divided by 4. I'm sorry, 8 divided by 2 is 4. Silly me. So now here is your equation in slope-intercept form. Well, what is the slope? What is the y-intercept? Remember, m is the letter that represents slope. B is what represents y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is what's being added or subtracted. Here's my y-intercept. That is 4, positive 4. The number that's in front of the x is my slope, which is negative 2. So now, to sketch your graph, I'm going to draw my x and y axis. Okay. Remember, B is going to tell me to begin. I'm going to begin at 4. So I'm going to go up here, just kind of sketch 4 up, put a dot on my y axis. Now, M is going to tell me to move. This is a negative 2 from left to right. That means my line is going down. So here's what you should have had when you sketched it. If you don't have this down right now, pause the video so you can get that down, and then we're going to go and do the we do. So let me erase this right here. Let's see. All right, got the problem over here. So now, right now, if pause the video and see if you can do this on your own. What we're going to do at the equal sign, I'm going to draw a dotted line. Remember, I'm trying to get y by itself. Okay, what is being added or subtracted on the same side with the y? Right here, this positive 6x. So I'm going to subtract 6x from each side. So now these cancel out, and I get 3y equals negative 6x plus 24. Is the y by itself yet? No, it is not. This is 3y, which is 3 times y. So I'm going to divide everything by 3. So now these cancel, and I get y equals negative 2x, because negative 6 divided by 3. Then 24 divided by 3 is 8. Here is your equation. Now, what is the slope and what is the y-intercept? Remember, the slope, whoops, let's start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept is what's being added or subtracted, which is 8. Okay, that's your y-intercept. The negative 2 is your slope. So I'm going to put that up here. Now, draw your coordinate grid. Where do we start? Remember, you begin at 8. Well, you begin at the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is up here. And it tells you the next one is to move. We'll do more on the graphing on the next lesson. But it's a negative. Remember, from left to right, that means that if it's negative, it's going down. It's decreasing. So there's my line that I'm sketching. If you need to make adjustments to yours, make sure you have this down, pause the video, and then we'll come back and do the next one. Oh, let's see. Let's see if I can find number. Oh, there it is. There's number 5. We've got 2 more of these to do. All right. Again, this is in standard form. AX plus BY equals C, and we need to move it into slope-intercept. Y equals MX plus B. So I'm going to go to the equal sign and draw a dotted line. I need to get y by itself. What is being added or subtracted to the side with the y? I have a positive 2x, so I need to do the opposite, and that means I need to subtract 2x. So now these cancel, and I get 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Now I'm going to go, and it says 4 times y, to do the inverse of multiplying. That is to divide. I'm going to divide each term by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so I get y equals. Now, negative 2 divided by 4. That is going to give me a fraction. The biggest mistake is people tell me that negative 2 divided by 4 is negative 2. That is not correct. It should be negative 1/2 x. Now, 8 divided by 4, that's 2. This is my equation. What's my slope? What's my y-intercept? Well, right here, the plus 2, that's my y-intercept. I'm going to put that there. Y-intercept. Negative 1/2 is my slope. So I'm going to do negative 1/2. Well, now let's go to graph it. Remember, y-intercept, that B, begin at 2. So I'm going to go up here to 2. Then I'm going to move. Again, it's a negative. So I'm going to just draw my line from left to right so that it is decreasing. Make sure you have this down. If you need more time, pause the video, and then we're going to do number 6. Okay, so you're going to do number 6 after I erase this. So you will need to pause the video and try and do this one. This is the last one we'll do on this recording. Okay, so pause the video, try and do the problem, and come back and see how you do. At the equal sign, I'm drawing a dotted line. Here is my y. I need to get that by itself. I have 3x. I'm going to subtract 3x from each side. I'm going to get 6y equals negative 3x plus 12. Now, this is 6 times y. The inverse of times is to divide. The opposite is to divide. So I'm going to divide each thing by 6. The 6's cancel and give me 1y, and that equals. Now, be careful. This is a mistake people make. Negative 3 divided by 6 is not negative 2. The numerator, this top number, is smaller, so it's got to be a fraction, and it reduces to negative 1/2 x. You can put that in the calculator to find that. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Here is my equation in slope-intercept form. I need to identify the slope and the y-intercept. Well, the slope, this is my b right here. Remember, y equals mx plus b. So the b is the 2. The slope is the -1/2. Okay, so to sketch this, we're going to start up here and put a dot at 2. Now the slope is -1/2. Please don't think that all of them are always going to be negative, okay? Just in this video with the examples I use, they are. From left to right, it is negative. It's a -1/2, so we're going to draw a line that is decreasing. We'll talk more about how to exactly graph in a later lesson. Okay, so now make sure you have all this down, and hopefully this helps you change things from standard form to slope-intercept and be able to sketch the graph. Let's see. I got to figure out how to stop sharing. All right, thanks, guys.